Hi booktubers! So I'm going to do something a little different. I got the idea to do this from Krista over at The Cubicle Blindness, and if you haven't checked out her channel, you really should because she's awesome. I will leave a link down in the Dropbox. And she decided to start doing these weekly wrap-up videos, where she tells you what she read during the week and what she plans on reading the following week. And I thought that was a really, really awesome idea, because I was thinking about doing monthly wrap-up videos, but considering by January 10th I had already read 6 books, I figured if I did it on a monthly basis, those videos would end up being super, super long. So I like the idea of doing them on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So hopefully she doesn't mind that I'm borrowing her idea. I know a lot of people who watched her videos said they were going to do the same thing. So the very first book that I read in 2012 was Looking for Alaska by John Green. I've already done a video review of this book, but I will just read to you what it says on the back. Miles Pudge Halter is done with his safe life at home. His whole existence has been one big non-event, and his obsession with famous last words has only made him crave the great perhaps. He heads off to the sometimes crazy, possibly unstable, and anything but boring world of Culver Creek boarding school, and his life becomes the opposite of safe, because down the hall is Alaska Young, the gorgeous, clever, funny, sexy, self-destructive, screwed up, and utterly fascinating Alaska Young, who is an event unto herself. She pulls Pudge into her world, launches him into the great perhaps, and steals his heart. Nothing is ever the same. This book has launched itself into my all-time favorite list. It is just phenomenal, and this is one instance where I was so incredibly happy that I didn't have this book spoiled, because I really think this is a book that you need to experience for yourself without knowing anything about it when you go into it. You know, I've been a John Green fan for a while because I love his Vlogbrothers videos, but this just cemented him in, the list of my favorite authors. So this is just such an amazing book, and obviously I recommend this highly, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. Okay, so the second book I read was Forever by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is the third and final book in the Wolves of Mercy Falls series. When Sam met Grace, he was a wolf and she was a girl. Eventually he found a way to become a boy, and their love moved from a curious distance to the intense closeness of shared lives. That should have been the end of their story, but Grace was not meant to stay human. Now she is the wolf, and the Wolves of Mercy Falls are about to be killed in one final spectacular hunt. Sam would do anything for Grace, but can one boy and one love really change a hostile, predatory world? The past, the present, and the future are about to collide in one pure moment, a moment of death or life, farewell or forever. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I'm a huge fan of this series. This was not my favorite book of the series, but I still ended up loving this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. A lot of people didn't like the ending of this book, and I can understand why they didn't, but personally I am satisfied with it. I liked the sort of open-ended feel to it. Yeah, because one of the things I love about Maggie Stiefvater is that she likes to let people make up their own minds about the characters, and I like that aspect of it. Yeah, so overall, this is one of my favorite series, and this was a good, if not perfect, way to end it. So yeah, the next book I read on my Kindle, and this is the cover. It's Bad Taste in Boys by Carrie Harris. Someone's been a very bad zombie. Kate Grable is horrified to find out that the football coach has given the team steroids. Worse yet, the steroids are having an unexpected effect, turning hot gridiron hunks into mindless flesh-eating zombies. No one is safe, not her cute crush Aaron, not her dorky brother Jonah, not even Kate herself. She's got to find an antidote before her entire high school ends up eating each other. So Kate, her best friend Rocky, and Aaron stage a frantic battle to save their town and stay hormonally human. I didn't even know the cover went off. Yeah. Yeah, so this book was just okay for me. I don't know, it might have had something to do with like how sort of heavy the two previous books were that I read, but this just felt a little silly to me. It really wasn't what I was expecting, and I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. So yeah, a little disappointed in that one, but what can you do? Now, the next book I read, I don't have the actual book to show you because I ended up loaning it to a friend of mine at work, and he still has it, but I will insert a picture of the cover. So it's called Low Boy by John Ray, and this is not a YA book, it's an adult book, and I will read to you what it says on Goodreads. Early one morning in New York City, Will Heller, a 16-year-old paranoid schizophrenic, gets on an uptown B train alone. Like most people he knows, Will believes the world is being destroyed by climate change. Unlike most people, he's convinced he can do something about it. Unknown to his doctors, unknown to the police, unknown even to Violet Heller, his devoted mother, Will alone holds the key to the planet's salvation. To cool down the world, he has to cool down his own overheating body. To cool down his body, he has to find one willing girl, and he already has someone in mind. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was kind of hoping that there would be a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel type thing, and there really wasn't. This book had a really big effect on me. I ended up really loving the character of Will, even though he had some obviously major problems. And what I especially enjoyed about the book was that it's told from 3 points of view. There's, Will's point of view, which was the best part of the book in my opinion, as well as the point of view of his mother Violet and the police detective trying to find him. I really enjoyed the book, but the ending was really dark. It's not for everyone, I'll put it that way. And like I said, it's not YA, it's adult, and there's some pretty graphic scenes in the book. But yeah, I would recommend it to anybody who likes something different and people who don't mind a dark storyline, because it is a really good book, and it's something that I think most people should make an attempt to read. And I gave this 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. The next book I read is An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. This is his second book that came out after Looking for Alaska, and this is what it says. 19 Catherines and counting. When it comes to relationships, Colin Singleton's type is girls named Catherine. And when it comes to girls named Catherine, Colin is always getting dumped. 19 times to be exact. On a road trip miles from home, his anagram-happy, washed-up child prodigy has $10,000 in his pocket, a bloodthirsty feral hog on his trail, and an overweight, Judge Judy-loving best friend riding shotgun. But no Catherines. Colin is on a mission to prove the theorem of underlying Catherine predictability, which he hopes will predict the future of any relationship, avenge dumpies everywhere, and may finally win him the girl. I did a video review of this, but I will say that a lot of people didn't like this book. A lot of people found it to be a little off-putting because there's a lot of math involved. I loved it. I enjoyed the heck out of this book. It's a very quick read, and it is incredibly, incredibly funny. Just, if you watch the Vlogbrothers videos and, you like the kind of humor that they have in their videos, then you will love this book because it is incredibly funny. And even though Colin can be a little bit annoying at times, it's another, it's further proof at John Green's ability to create these incredible characters that you can't help but fall in love with. And yes, so this was really excellent, and I gave it 4.5 stars on Goodreads. Okay, so the next book I read was Vesper by Jeff Sampson, and it's another book that I read on my Kindle. Emily Webb is a geek, and she's happy that way. Content hiding under hoodies and curling up to watch old horror flicks, she's never been the kind of girl who sneaks out for midnight parties, and she's definitely not the kind of girl who starts fights or flirts with other girls' boyfriends. Until one night, Emily finds herself doing exactly that. The same night, one of her classmates, also named Emily, is found mysteriously murdered. The thing is, Emily doesn't know why she's doing any of this. By day, she's the same old boring Emily, but by night she turns into a thrill seeker. With every nightfall, Emily gets wilder until it's no longer just her personality that changes. Her body can do things it never could before. Emily is now strong, fast, and utterly fearless. And soon Emily realizes that she's not just coming out of her shell. There's something much bigger going on. Again, this book was just okay for me. I don't know. I was really, really intrigued when I first started reading it, and it kind of fell flat about halfway through. I will say I thought the whole premise of sort of a different take on a werewolf story was really, really cool. And there's also these little sort of mysterious interview segments where Emily is being interviewed by this very shady, mysterious group of people. Those aspects to the book I really enjoyed, but I had a lot of problems with the actual storyline. I don't know. It was okay. I gave it 2 stars. Yeah, okay, so that's all 6 books that I've read since the beginning of January. Now, as for what I plan on reading coming up for this week, there are 3 books that I intend to get to over the next week, and they are Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I was trying to read his books in the order they were published, but I've been so excited to read this, I probably am not going to be able to wait, so I probably will read this over the next few days. Yes, and this is my signed copy that I got through Amazon. No Hanklerfish or Yeti, but it's signed in green, so it's different. So, yeah, I know he signed them in a whole bunch of different colors, but whatever. Okay, the next book I plan on reading is The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and it's a short book, so. And number 3 is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. And these 3 books you probably saw in my last video, which was the haul video. So these are the 3 main ones that I want to read this week, because I am super excited about all 3. Now, I did start another book last night on my Kindle, and you can't really see the cover very well, but it's Sisters Red by Jackson Pierce. And I'm like 14% into it, and it's pretty good so far. If you don't know what it's about, it's a retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this time out. Let me know in the comment section if you'd rather I didn't read the little synopsis about each book when I'm doing my wrap-up. I personally, when I'm watching a video, I like when the person does that, like in Krista's video, that's what she did, and I find it, helpful. It lets me know if the book would be something that I would want to read. So, but let me know if if it bugs you or whatever, for future reference. But as of now, that's pretty much it. And hopefully you guys won't get sick of me doing these on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. It's just I think it would be easier for me to keep track of everything. And as always, leave me comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or whatever, all the contact information is in the drop-down box. And I will talk to you guys later. Happy reading, guys. Thanks for watching.